If you're a man, you don't cry about it. You take life, the ups and downs. If you're a real man, you never go down, you just stay up. That's why this sport coat costs $800 and that costs $200. And I don't know what that costs, I'd be ashamed to wear it. That's why I'm wearing lizard shoes and a Rolex watch.
Importing it, snorting it, any competition extorting it, anything I want affording it, got enough crack to get forward a hit, turn a saint to a sinner, lose to a winner, whether old school or upbeat, getting my shit's the best, Rick's the best, have your heart beating right out your chest, that Ric Flair like, woo! That Ric Flair like, woo! This is all I do, I got that Ric Flair like, woo! Woo! Styling, profiling, that Ricky make a girl go, woo!
Guys, we have some bad news. We're supposed to have our guest Daniel Bordman on, but this coming in, he's been kidnapped by Hamas.
And as you can tell, the Palestinian thinks it's funny.
That's my most Palestinian laugh.
Should we? What do we do? Should we go get him or?
After the pod.
Just wait him outside.
Let's record first,
Yeah.
and then
We'll go get him if there's 30 views on the pod.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
buy,
yeah.
you can buy his head for $10,000 on our Patreon. You want Daniel Boardman's freshly beheaded head?
Yeah. I mean, it's fresh. Fresh head, y'all. Go to the website. G+O.com/swag.
Why don't you talk about our merch while we wait for him?
We got merch on the way.
Yeah, and our show. They'll talk about our merch in the show.
We got some T-shirts coming in. I think they're extra large because we know our fan base. And what's it called? We're going to be doing a show on December 21st at the Free Times Cafe, which I guess we're kind of nervous about.
So I'm not like, it is what it is. Yeah. They've already said yes, so they're not going to find out till after. Yeah. But I've been warned by several different comedians that they are pretty serious about their don't say this, don't say that rules, which I feel like someone is going to break.
Well, we got Josh Infald, who's a Jew, headlining. And there was one rule with the venue, and don't talk about the war on Jews right now. And as a Jew, I think he's entitled and probably eager to talk about some Jewish shit.
It's also psychology 101. When someone tells you not to do something, you automatically now want to do it.
Yeah. But I wonder, like, if like we do some Palestinian Jewish jokes and they're fucking funny and people laugh, if we'll still get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because if you do one that bombs and just makes everybody uncomfortable, then yeah, I could see like, oh, you broke the rule.
No, if you get laughs, they get even more mad.
They get more mad.
Because then their whole fucking reality shatters.
Well, I've
how's he getting laughs at those kinds of jokes? This is awful.
I've never had any issues there. Like I've always said whatever I wanted there.
Yeah.
And like Render goes hard sometimes in it, and we have everyone on when we
Yeah,
do
yeah.
shows there, so it's never been an issue. But
So you mean you think it's a bit of a boogeyman thing? Like it's not real?
I think so. I think like the people that are complaining about it probably went very hard, and the audience didn't like it.
Right.
I think when the audience are having a good time, they don't really care.
I guess also if we have our own audience,
but
right?
It shouldn't matter if the audience likes it or not, though. No, I mean it. You need
What?
you need to have the freedom to take swings. Mm-hmm. Part of comedy is bombing. Part of comedy is failing. You're failing in front of people.
I'll say this: I really hope nobody bombs on our booked show that costs tickets.
I'm gonna bomb.
Oh, please don't. If you can help it. I'm just saying.
Sanker, you're going to bomb. Like, we know you're going to bomb.
I do better than you, loser.
You don't,
yes,
asshole.
I do.
I'll kill
You're
you any day.
terrible. You're a fucking terrible comedian. You've never been good.
What a hateful, lying piece of shit you are. And you know what sucks? You put me in such an awkward spot, too, because I can't go like, no, I'm not. I get all mad. Overly defend myself.
That happened to us. We did a gig with somebody else, and we were driving back, and we were trashing each other on like, oh, you bombed, whatever, you know, you were never good, all that kind of talk. And the other person was like, no, I think I did pretty good. Yeah. And then we were stuck in that awkward moment of like, we can go harder and tell you, no, you didn't. What are you talking about? Or we just go, all right, well,
we're
this
talking
is not
about
fun
Kanani,
anymore.
right?
Yeah.
Who we talked about earlier mistreated you?
No, I don't think so.
Yes,
I just think some people are more conscious of using other people. Yeah, you know what I mean?
She used you for slave labor and didn't even like offer to put you on the show. So we should hate her.
No, we shouldn't hate her. She's still a good person.
As my friend,
Yeah.
you do have a pattern of getting exploited by people.
Yeah.
In what way though? Like that's a very
Well, this
personal
happened-
thing. Like, you know what I mean?
No, this happened at the Royal too. Matt literally used you for slave labor to set up the audio and
Yeah.
gave you nothing in return. This
Actually-
has happened twice now.
I would consider you guys to fall in that users category as well.
Yeah, me and Lee also exploited.
Well, we're your friend. We're actually your friend. We get to use you.
I said this was a pattern.
Yeah.
But I relate to it because I am too nice at times too. It's called being a people pleaser. We're both people pleasers. And then wicked people see people that are too nice and then they use us.
Yep.
So
Yes,
that's
we
why
do.
you need to get the holy. No, I'm going to bring it back to that.
That's what the second I heard Wicked,
bring
I'm
it
like,
back to that.
if we get
I'm
back
not
to
gonna
demon
bring it back
talk, I'm leaving.
I'm not going to bring it back to that. But we need to get a spine and set boundaries and be strong, or else people will just push on our boundaries and take advantage of us.
Do you think everybody who does that though is malicious, or some people don't even realize when they're doing it?
It's subconscious. But if they're bad people, they'll just subconsciously
They're
take
just
advantage,
naturally
take advantage
selfish
of good people.
Yeah.
And it's like kindness without teeth isn't kindness. You need
And they probably don't even notice that they're doing it like the way it comes across, because they're probably so used to just always doing that they don't think it's like bad until you throw it in their face and tell them that it's bad. You're like, hey, you only ever fucking call me when you need this,
Right,
and then they
right.
go like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Like,
and they'll
they're
keep,
ju-
and they'll keep doing it until you punch them in the face. Maybe not literally, but even just verbally, or just say no, I'm not doing that. And then they'll respect you and they'll stop doing that shit to you.
Especially if you're nice and you look like you're happy to do it, which I assume you probably were when you were helping people.
I just have my normal face.
They don't
Yeah.
know that they're just using people. Like, people just ask people to do shit all the time, and if somebody just keeps doing it for them, they're like, fuck it, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll ask
exactly.
Daniel.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's me as well. Like, I do the same. Like, and then I get fucking angry at myself and just turn it inward.
Yeah.
And then I have to do mushrooms again.
Yeah, I'm not letting that shit happen to me anymore. I don't care. Fuck off.
But the thing is, I don't get angry ever. Like, if someone kind of
Yes, you do. You don't get angry. You just bottle it in and eat yourself to death.
It's true.
No, but I just don't. Like,
you
it doesn't.
You get
if
depressed,
someone,
dude. You get depressed. No.
yeah, but for
Okay.
other reasons.
No, but that anger, like you're the same as me. Anger turns into depression for people like us because we don't exploit outward at people. So we just bottled up and we become self-destructive.
And you have the body type of depression. We're worried
You have the
about
body
it.
type of addiction.
So do you of food.
I was week 4. Coke.
Of what? Yeah.
Yeah.
No
all
Coke.
right.
No
This is
Coke.
1 month.
Yeah, it's
Week
it's
four,
been
no
like
Coke.
actually maybe three. It's closer to 3.
Okay. All right. More closer to 3 than 4, but you're approaching on 4.
Well, yeah, because
So
the
we're
person I was
on-
hanging out with a lot was always doing coke like, on the weekend, so I was just
Oh.
there.
Good for you, Lee. You're on day 3 crack now.
Uh,
Way to go, dude.
I'm still drinking. I don't know. I still smoke weed. Yeah, but no coke. So that's good.
Do coke
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It depends on the person. Some people like their use of me or whatever doesn't annoy me. I guess maybe also friendship level kind of whatever.
True.
And I do say no a little more often now. Like
You don't know your own worth, bro.
like Lee, as much as I joke, but I do really like Lee. Lee's one of my very good friends. Lee is a driving mooch. Like he loves a good
But I'm
drive.
sure when Lee gets a drive from you, he gives you a spot whenever dumb show he's doing.
I always give him a spot.
Oh.
Anything that I'll have, I'll put him on.
I drive
but
him
also
sometimes
the last
unrelated.
couple of times coming
Oh,
here.
you drive him to stuff that's not comedy related.
Yeah.
Like where?
Yeah.
Like Lee
Get coke.
No. yeah. The last 3 weeks when I dropped him off at a coke spot, he said he didn't do coke. But
Yeah.
No. Where were we? Oh, when we recorded the podcast at his
You drove him
apartment?
to his niece's tennis match.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Stop here, Sanker. We got to stop quick for binoculars."
Oh, no, wait. You took me to IKEA. Yeah.
No.
IKEA.
That was you asked me to help you move and go to. That's specific. You called me. You said I need your help. I don't think you should.
I
Ever
need
get
to
mad
use
at
you.
that. No,
To
but
get
like,
a mirror to do coke off.
Yeah, he did coke off the IKEA bed that's rolled up. No. Like if someone calls you and specifically says, "I'm moving. I need your help." I don't think that's using. I mean, if you're friends, like
No.
No. Where were we? We were somewhere, and I told Lee, yes, I'll drop you home, right? And that's fine. He needs to be dropped home. That's fine. But then on the way, at some point, he goes, "Hey, I was actually going to go to the LCBO. Could you just drop me at the LCBO quick? And I'm just going to grab a couple beers." He just wants a couple beers on a Tuesday night before he goes to bed, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So we turn to this LCBO, and I had to travel down a road a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. But we get there, and they're closing in 10 minutes, right? But they closed already. Apparently, they had some police incident. And Lee couldn't get in. Lee's fucking face when he found out he couldn't get his 2 tall boys before the end of the night, he was so pissed. And then he gets back in the car, he closes the door, he's like, "Don't worry, there's another one down the road." And I'm like, I wasn't worried. And then I drove
Senator, don't you worry. Don't you worry. Just down the street. Not even 5 minutes. You could take me there now.
and then I took him to that one.
I didn't think that shit was that pathetic until he brought it out. Like, he was just like, Like, he started making fun of me. Like, that is kind of sad. I need my last 2 beers of the day.
That is him exploiting you a little bit, though. It is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He's taking advantage of your niceness.
But then last week, Lee's like, "Oh, I'm going to Keys. You want to drop me?" I'm not going in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, as your life coach, I'm going to give you a challenge for this week.
All right, go ahead.
I want you to say no.
But I said no to Lee last week.
Okay, just say no some more and tell me about it.
Some more?
And just tell me how good it feels. Just say no. I'm
And say no to this
not
shit.
doing that.
And say no to the shit that you know is bad for you. Like, only that. So it's like, hey, can you do me this favor? No.
Sir, would you like fries with that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
I'm a little off on fries right now. I get tired of fries sometimes.
Who gets tired of fries? That's
I
crazy.
don't know. It's
Holy
just-
shit. How many fries have you been eating?
Not that much. I'm not a big fry person.
Okay.
This is not me being healthy. I'd rather give me 2 burgers than burger fries, like that combo. I think fries are overrated.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I really enjoy them, but for
me,
the
like
most
one
part.
of the ultimate junk food things.
Yeah, I love them so.
Oh yeah, sorry. Potato guy over here is probably getting offended. I'm sorry.
It's different back in Ireland, like proper chips. Like chips are different to fries, and it's not like chips here. You call it like whatever crisps or whatever.
They're crisps to you,
but like chips, like actual potatoes
Custy.
chopped up. Like
Yeah.
McDonald's has like. I think they have like 17 ingredients for the fries.
People also stand by McDonald's fries, and I don't understand. Like, people love them. I believe you.
I think they used to be better back in the day. There's something about it.
I
I don't know if
guess.
they changed the oil
They're
or
better in
whatever.
Ireland as well because they use Irish potatoes. It's different. I guess the oil is different or whatever.
You know what's good? You know what's a good trick at McDick's? You ask for unsalted fries, so then
Uh-huh.
you have to make them fresh for you, and then you add your own salt.
Oh, like when you get home or whatever.
So
like
then they're crispy, hot, and delicious.
Fries are good, but
okay.
they suck too because like as soon as they get cold,
Yeah.
you can't really reheat them. You can't throw them. The microwave fucking fries suck shit. Like, how do you reheat your fries? You put a little oil on a pan and then fry them up, or you put them back in the oven, but they're never quite the same.
No, fries will never
I've
be the
eaten
same.
them the next morning, like from beside my bed.
Yeah.
If I couldn't finish them the night before, which doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
But if I got like a shitload, and they're literally chewy, and I wake up in the morning hungover, and I'm just eating these fucking proper stale, and I know they're terrible, and I'm like, I'm finishing.
But wouldn't
this
the
box.
thing to do though is like to mash them up and then kind of refry them, almost like what do you call those potatoes in the morning?
Hash browns?
I guess, but it's I don't know.
Home fries.
Home fries.
Home
yeah,
fries.
that's what.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see,
So
yeah.
you could remix them into home fries. I think I
Yeah,
just
I
heard your
guess so.
stomach gargle.
I guess. I don't know. They're just hash browns I like better than fries.
No, but it's just a matter of like I'm like, yeah, they're good, but once they get fucking cold, they're I don't know, they're useless.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really happy, I'm not going to lie, when he said potatoes.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
I heard that too. But I didn't know what to say about it. I was just like, oh, that sounded funny, but I'll shut up.
Like, I never hear myself saying it like that, but anyone that's making fun of me says the exact same thing.
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
you said it, so I obviously do say it like
You
that.
do say it like that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have different species of potatoes in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like here we have regular and sweet. You guys have like a bunch of them, right?
Well, no, we have other.
There's like rooster potatoes. There's all kinds of different.
We have other
Potatoes.
potatoes.
White, yellow, Yukon.
Do you never
Fucking Yukon potatoes.
Yeah, you never go grocery shopping?
They have more in Ireland.
They might have more. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Is that true, Darren?
Yeah, well, there's loads of different types.
There's different types.
There's cur pinks and roosters, and there's loads of different ones, and there's different like smaller farms as well. And then there's like new potatoes, old potatoes. The new potatoes are small.
Potatoes.
That's the clip. I just we're just splice together a compilation of him saying potatoes.
Potatoes.
Joe Rogan N-word clip.
Do you get? I have a question for you because you said the plan is to go back to Ireland soon for a little trip or whatever, right?
I was going to, but I don't think I'm going to go this year now. I'll go back at the end of next year.
Sure. Yeah. Either way, you're going to go back. Do you get? Because this used to happen to my friend who's Irish. Do you get bitched out for your losing your accent? Like you have a shit accent now, right? Yeah. In between our accents, people don't like. Like, we don't notice it because he just sounds like a fucking Mick to us. But
no, I've heard his friends talk to him on the phone, and they're way thicker accents.
Yeah, so they say I have an accent, and here say I have an accent as well. So it's like I'm just.
So they think you have a Canadian accent over there.
Not a Canadian accent, but like what they say over there is you have a twang.
They think he sounds like a cunt.
So he's got
He sounds like a ripe twat to you.
like if I say something by accident, like if I say garbage or sidewalk or something that we don't say over there, I tell you fuck it, and they wouldn't say Canadian, they'll say yank. Yank is American, but everything.
It just means
American.
North America. Yeah. They don't. Out in the world, we don't get distinguished as Canadians as much as we think. Only in the U.S., I think. I think to the general rest of the world, we're just Americans to them in the way we talk and the way we act, everything like that.
To us, it's like it's America. Canada is America.
Is America?
Light.
Yeah,
it's America light. Like it's kind of this. It is the same because it's all the same culture and everything. I thought that the accent was the exact same. I wouldn't have been able to notice, but now that I've been here for a while, I can. An American accent is definitely different.
Yeah. But do in Ireland, do people have like jokes about Canadians or and I don't mean like Polish jokes. I just mean like do you have some thank you.
About Canadians, not really. No, they wouldn't they just throw them in there with Americans.
We suck. We don't even come up in conversation. That's what he's saying. Like we just don't people don't think about us.
We lack personality.
Yeah, we lack personality, some type of out there.
Some type of strong identity.
Yes.
Like, we don't have it. Yeah.
We don't have a strong identity. Besides, maybe you guys might know about the hockey thing, that hockey is important to Canadians.
Like, they all sound like stupid hockey playing.
Yeah.
Like fucking
But then you Google it and you're like, the Canadian teams don't actually win at hockey. They don't.
Our women kill it.
We're all just trying to be American. Canadians just copy American shit.
Yeah.
We're just trying to be American.
In a lot of ways. I think if you're from like a small town in Canada, you're probably very Canadian.
But also we're very influenced by the U.S.
Yeah, like Dundas Square is like Times Square.
But all the
Union Station, Hyde Park.
But all the entertainment that we suck up here
is
we get it from the U.S. Yeah,
I know, but it's
we assume like Drake and Justin Bieber and all those
are
Jim
Americans.
Carrey just assume they're Americans. Until you Google it, it's like, oh shit, he's Canadian.
But even us, like
straight away.
There's the ones I know, but there's some that you don't even realize are Canadian. That like, but that's another thing is that a lot of our artists, actors, whatever, when they go over there, they just become like you get enveloped in I'm an American now. So like there's some who talk about politics and stuff and they're so American that I forget they're Canadian. Like we lack this like we just good. I hate watching an interview where an actor and then they ask him about like, oh, you guys are really polite, and he goes, you like that's all we are. Yeah. We lack some sort of fucking interest in us.
Yeah.
Like at least you guys. Yeah. Maybe it's not all positive.
We're also we're kind of like pussies and antisocial in public. I find. Like when I went to New York, everyone's like open just to having some banter with you and having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like the bodega guy or the taxi driver.
Yeah.
Just people are just more open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Political correctness has just put us into these little boxes.
But we were like that even before that.
Yeah, true. We were like that before that too.
Yeah, you're not wrong about political correctness.
It's amplified it though, I think.
Okay.
And we're like terrified of getting socially exiled.
So
no one just being themselves at all. And it's actually like kind of sad. It makes people depressed. Like I see them like hunched over and shit. They're depressed.
Well, there is no culture really because it's only 150 years old and it's all people from all over the place. So it's the culture of Europeans and the American culture just because we're right next to it. with sports and music.
Right.
But there is nothing that's Canadian except like hockey, really. And poutine, like
And
poutine.
poutine, yeah.
Irish people have been eating gravy and fries and cheese for a long time. Everyone has.
But
like it's just
You're saying we didn't invent anything special?
Maple syrup.
No, it's not regular cheese. It's not like
It's
cheddar.
curds.
It's curds. It's curds. It's like these little plastic.
But they do
fucking
taste
chunks of
better.
cheese.
They do taste better. Yeah.
No, poutine is great. It's great.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like to everyone else.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
what Lee is
what
saying
it?
is
Cheese
maybe you
and
guys did
gravy.
it before, but none of you were
This is-
getting it fucking right.
Maybe,
This is
yeah.
Are we the only country that cares about another country's politics more than our own?
It seemed that way. I think
mean,
no, I think he might be right because we find other people's shit more interesting than our own, and then when things.
Like, are people in Ireland paying attention to American politics?
No, maybe not Ireland, but
Well, they are though.
I think
They
so
are,
much
yeah.
shit has gone wrong in this country that we need
So
to
everyone's
now.
looking at America like
Well,
the
the
shit.
American president is the leader of the world. Like that's
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
happening.
Everybody's
You're the
paying
leader of
attention.
The
Yeah,
free
true.
world. They call
Yeah, but
it,
do you think
know,
it got
it's
so
always-
bad because we've been so sleepy as to like how?
So we're gonna,
like
we're gonna
where
start
our-
after watching Chinese politics.
No, dude, we gotta like have a civil war in here, like just to take it over again. Because you know what happened is we've been going too long as this friendly country. Like, oh, the government's never gonna lie to us. The government's never gonna fucking, betray us to China. And now we've been so like, no, we're Canadian for so long that we're so fucked that something drastic has to happen in order for us to get our fucking balls back as a country.
Yeah, I really want Lee
Like-
watching my
Civil War.
six in the
Yeah,
Civil War. Hey Lee, I'm out of ammo. Where's the ammo? I sold it for drugs. Oh, okay.
But hey, I captured this trans person. Let's beat him up.
also Lee is
Wait,
like
put
one,
the phone away. We don't want to get caught. You fucking idiot. We're gonna be on.
Oh, wait, Bordman's going.
Also, Lee is one of those, like, you remember those mazes you play when you're a kid where you have the crayon? And you could take different paths, but they all lead to the center, which is Civil War to Lee. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
Darren's on that tip too. I think Civil War's coming.
Well, it feels like in Ireland right now in Dublin, people are rioting.
it's bubbling.
Yeah, and it has been happening for a while.
Over, is that economics? Is that over? Or
Well, it's everything. It's just because everyone's so angry because there's nobody's concerns are being met. But everyone's very upset about the Palestine-Israel war because Irish people feel like we were Palestine 100 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that, yeah.
So everyone's upset about that, and now there's people getting stabbed and killed and raped by bad immigrants. Like, not all immigrants are bad. I'm an immigrant. We're all immigrants. Like, but
That's not a good example. You're a bad immigrant to me. Yeah.
But yeah, I probably am.
Taking other comedians' jobs.
Yeah.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Move a little aside. You know what?
I probably should have sat there. Things were told me, but I'm playing inaudible.
I'm going to press pause anyway.
Fair. I'm Daniel.
How you doing, man? Darren.
Darren?
Darren, good to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing, bro?
Doing well.
Okay. Even though your land is being under attack.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. That's a perfect. You good? Welcome to the
Why aren't you over
podcast.
there fighting, you coward?
Yeah, Daniel Bordman, everyone.
I fight
sorry.
Palestinians here.
Yeah, on fucking Twitter.
No, that's why he was late. He got into a fist fight
Yeah,
outside.
there was just a mob of Palestinians that I had to own with facts and logic, and then move them out of traffic and keep going. They're on that now. They're on the block and traffic game. That
like
never
that.
goes well.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
they're-
no one likes that.
So they're biting the truckers' swag? They're doing that thing?
No, the
no.
truckers never blocked any roads. They're like going on the middle of the highway and just being like, Palestine! And then everyone's like, fuck off.
Yeah. It's not. You're not going to win everyone. I remember many years ago. I don't know how many years, but the Sikhs
Imagine
were.
some drunk guy just ran one over. That'd be fucking funny.
The Sikhs were mad? Are these the
The Sikhs-
Khalistanis or the Sikhs?
I don't remember. They were. This is like 10, 15 years ago. Sikhs were, and they were
Okay.
kind of in my way traffic wise.
Okay.
I don't think they were trying to block traffic, but you know, some people just don't give a fuck, so they're kind of bleeding into the street a little bit.
Okay.
There was a little bit of that, and yeah, they lost me on that cause right away. The second you're in my way.
It'd be so good to run one of them over and then just as a joke, like just for fun, turn your windshield wiper on, like after they've bounced off your car.
You're listening to Kid Cudi, driving drunk, I'm doing
Yeah,
my
yeah.
thing. Just hit a fucking
Just,
Arab.
yeah, they just fly over your fucking windshield.
Classic
and just
gag.
Switch it on. Yeah.
Your Honor, it's not vehicular homicide, it's comedy.
Yeah, that's the new Gallagher. He used to smash watermelons. We run Arabs over the cars now. We're elevating the game, bro.
There you go.
Yeah. So how's it going, Bordman? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, I've stopped. Well, I've done a lot less comedy since I got India famous, and then did that as
India famous.
Yeah, I got famous in India by talking about Khalistanis running around when Canada and India got their thing. So now I'm running around Indian television in the morning and at night, and
that's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Indian TV is great because you could just do whatever you want. They just put you into a Zoom link. Like in Canada, I say this, what sucks about Canadian media is they always pre-screen and pre-interview.
Yeah.
So they decide what's going to happen before it happens. You have to give them that. But in India, it's just here's a Zoom link and go.
Yeah.
So you could just
you say whatever
be
the fuck you
me
want.
on national television. They love it.
How bad do your fans smell with that big nose of yours?
That was double racism.
I know, that was good. That was good. That was
Separate-
on-time double racist. Yeah. Well done. Good job, kid.
Yeah, Indian TV.
You got a clip.
I watch a lot of. I don't know if it's it's not Indian TV. I guess it's Indian YouTube TV or whatever.
Okay.
You know, that. I watch this one woman who's kind of feels like the what's that cigar and what? It's the brown dude and the white girl on YouTube right now. Breaking Points or something.
Okay, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
Yeah.
Are
So
those guys smart? I'm too dumb to know whether or not
that's a
people
good
know what
question.
they're talking
They
about.
are smart, but they don't understand foreign policy because they're Americans. So
okay.
Because their whole things, they're kind of
they're supposed to be two different sides.
They're unbiased.
Unbiased,
No
but two
one's
different
unbiased.
sides.
the way
and they're
news
both-
is supposed to be.
Yeah, they're quasi-libertarian. They're not bad. They're not bad. And they do some good stuff sometimes. But it's just the classic American. Okay, they just don't understand foreign policy, and they look at everything through a American point of view. And you can't look at Saudi Arabia as an American. It's standard stuff like that. But that's everyone. They're better than mainstream media. You could say.
Right.
So it's but anyone again, I do the news. I have biases. I'm just clear with them and explain why I have them and don't do this whole show. I'm the most unbiased, truthful person on the planet. No, I'm not.
Right. There are
Right?
some people technically who don't try to I don't think Ben Shapiro tries to argue that he's unbiased. I think he just
It's just I'm trying to tell the truth and here's why I think it. And you can think I'm wrong and be okay, he's wrong about that and his I'm
whatever.
a communist, he believes in a Westphalian nation state. Well, fine, okay. There's that, but if I'm this is the most neutral and objective thing, that then it's no, it's not. But just give your point of view that way. But so my thing on the Breaking Points guys is they have that sort of, but they're not stupid because they find the good info and the things that mainstream media lies to people about, and then they expose it, and it's it's sort of how you handle that. So it doesn't mean the other side is right. It doesn't. It just means the media is lying, and they could be lying for many different ways. It's not always a super conspiracy. They're center left technocrats who don't want anything outside their echo chamber, and they're incompetent. A lot of this is just they're incompetent and yes, they are hiding something, but it's not this super deep double Illuminati conspiracy. It's them just fucking money laundering.
I don't believe that.
It's just money laundering and vote buying.
It's always a super deep Illuminati conspiracy.
Lee only believes in the
But you could do something about the real they are up to shady shit. It's just it's not that hard to find out. It's just it's money laundering and vote and vote splitting or pandering or trying to get votes and money. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So we've been getting a lot of Indian pussy though.
I get more attention from Indian women now that
Oh yeah.
But it's the thing though is being a political young women aren't into politics.
Right.
So, but
there's
But they're
nothing
into
power.
Old pussy
but
thrown at
there
you.
is a thing of
There's nothing wrong with old pussy. Come on.
No, but it's but it just means it's
He
not
did
there.
say no.
It helps to have other people notice you and be oh him
Yeah.
Is this mind blowing
Right.
development?
Because you saying Indian famous, I'm obsessed with that right now. Because I'm just thinking about because he rides with Ben, right? And
Okay,
technically, you could say if you're Indian famous, you're more famous than Ben Bank is, which is wild to me.
He's saying based on population.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More
more people
people
would have
know
seen
Bordman
me.
than-
He has more followers than me, so let's
Right.
not
Let's not
jump the gun there. But it's no, you can argue. Yes, I've been seen by more people because again, Indian TV has an audience of millions and consistently doing it.
Right.
But it's apples and oranges and But yeah, like if you could get like 1% of India,
Yeah.
that's
That's
more
a huge-
than.
Are
than
you
you
attracted
could
to
do.
Indian women?
We're attracted to all type of women.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I
was
could
hoping
tell
he'd
by
say
Lee's
no.
question. He's like, "Well, I'm not." So I want to know if other people really are.
Including trans women.
No trans.
No,
The real,
No trans.
real women.
Yeah, full women.
real.
Give me 2 X chromosomes. I love those chromosomes.
What I always found about when you get to the conspiracy theory, and I'm not like some super pro Jewish guy or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's just I always thought it was weird that in the end, once if you just take it to the end of the conspiracy theory, I'm with you, and then always in the end it goes, and because of the Jews, and I never understood that twist at the end. Why always the Jews?
Well, it's
'Cause
not the
it's-
Jews,
well,
actually,
that's-
dude. It's not the Jews.
Right.
It's the Jews are beautiful people, but it's the people that are posing as Jews that are using the Jews as sheep clothing to get into all this creepy shit. So Jews are actually the ones that are most victimized in this whole
'Cause
conspiracy.
It's
It's
before-
not actual
No,
Jews.
the Jews are the chosen ones. The Bible says it.
That's true.
So
According to the devil.
Nope. So this is Satan's greatest trick ever. He's convinced us that it's all to blame on the Jews, and that's why we think.
Okay.
And why do we think that the Jews have horns? Because Satan has horns.
So, before you speak,
That's the
the only thing I
conspiracy.
was going to say that doesn't make any sense, I was thinking about this when I was walking the other day, is let's say...
You don't walk.
to the fridge.
I was thinking about this when I was scootering the other day.
I would never scooter. I think scooters are the bane of this fucking city, and I want them all to die. If you ride a scooter, I want you to die, unless you're like a fat
Isn't it
scooter.
weird that we don't see that many scooter accidents? Every time I
There's
see
a
one
lot.
zipping by, I would expect it to
I
happen.
fell off a scooter last
I've
night.
never witnessed one. I've seen more
I
car
was doing
crashes.
a video and I fell off.
Oh yeah.
you
Can we have
12-year-old
it?
girl.
It's probably on my
post it?
Instagram. Maybe I go back. Yeah, I'll find it.
Anyways.
Maybe I'll find it.
The part of the Jews are to blame for everything. Let's say I bought that is true. It doesn't make sense that these overlords in the world aren't better at keeping that secret, because apparently we all know that they're the bad. So that part never made sense to me. A bad guy we wouldn't know that he's the bad guy.
Of course we would, because people. That bad guy's also a person. People are stupid. Like at some point, you can't be perfect and sneaky forever. You're gonna fucking fuck
Yeah,
up.
but
They
it's
also don't care.
it's so
They don't-
out there. It doesn't make
they're
sense.
arrogant about it.
Well,
so
okay,
they don't
listen,
think they can get caught.
They know
Anti-Semitism
there's
is
so much
generally like
misinformation
wrapped
out there
up in
that they
conspiracy
can have
because it's like
plausible
the
deniability.
fluid
Yeah.
nature to. So anti-Semitism usually is wrapped up in conspiracy,
Yeah.
right? It manifests differently than other types of discrimination, racism, whatever you want to say, right? You're walking down the street late at night, you see 2 black guys coming at you. Versus you're walking down the street late at night, you see 2 Hasidic Jews. You're not like Jews,
Yeah.
right?
But you're thinking the bank you
Right,
also
the
walk
thing-
by.
but it's like it's like a different type of like, oh, the Jews are out there in my life. It's always been a convenient excuse of like
In
the
both
reason you're
scenarios,
not
though, I'm checking
succeeding,
for my wallet.
right? Like the reason you're not succeeding is because of this. And like if you want like the historical root in like Western civilization or European stuff, it's so the Catholic Church when it formed didn't allow interest or usury.
Yeah, I know,
Same
but-
thing as
yeah, go
and
on.
like. That's retarded. You need interest to run a country. If you don't, like, it just collapses. Like you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
There's like usury, which is like extorting people, like charging you like 40% on it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
no, that's evil. But like if you can't charge like 3-4%, like
You can't lend money.
No one would ever lend money. There's no incentive to do it. Like, and then like a carpenter could never get a loan. Like a prince could, because he'd be like my honor and my lands and have other non-monetary stuff to leverage. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the average person, you couldn't again become like a carpenter if you couldn't loan money at
Right,
interest,
right.
right? But Christians couldn't loan interest. Jews weren't allowed to have any other jobs in the economy. Hence, Jewish community came together, became the money lenders. And then when some people can't pay back their interest, they get mad at the people. Like everyone's mad at the banks, right? And then they would go to the king, be like, "Oh, the Jews are fucking us over." They put a tax on the Jews, so the Jews have to pay more tax. But they have to charge higher interest with the thing because, like, right? So that cycle. Then they get kicked out and whatever.
So
So
black men couldn't fuck black women. And today they're flourishing in that shit. See how it turns
And
eventually?
You're saying that was a seed that turned into
yeah.
those people control us secretly with their money, and then that just kind of grew.
Yeah, that's where that came from there. And then both other major Abrahamic religions have the like distinct thing of like starting and then being like, we're based off the Jews, and then like the Jews like don't convert. Right? So it's like there's an inherent thing with both Christianity and Islam where it's like, hey, we have this idea from the Jewish Bible, Jews, and we're like, no.
Yeah.
Right? So there's like always that's the initial thing of like if you're a Christian, it's like, do Jews believe Jesus is the Son of God? No. believe he's a rabbi, nice guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Do
yeah.
we think Muhammad is the final be-all super? No. Right? And that causes friction.
Blasphemy.
Like,
He didn't say
Muhammad
nice guy on him, though.
Right? Muhammad got mad and chopped the heads off hundreds of Jews.
It's true.
Yeah.
He was less of a nice guy. I'm
Yeah,
trying
he's,
to insult him.
yeah.
But and then so that's where that started, and then you think it never got let go. It just built into this idea of the great Jew that controls the world.
Yeah, and it's like, but also Jews, it's like it's a victim of your success in a society to like always be around. Like if the Zoroastrians, which are still around, but like nearly like wiped out by the Islamic conquest in Iran, and then this and that. Like there's a few of them around, but you don't see it because like. Jews have managed to like be in entertainment. So they're like, they're talking to you. There's lefties, they're right wing, like they're all over. So if you're a right wing person, you're seeing all these stupid fucking lefty Jews, and you're like, what the fuck are these Jews doing? Like me, like I'm looking at some lefty Jews. What the fuck are you doing? And then if you're a lefty and you're looking at like the right, then like okay, here's Milton Friedman and like all Ben Shapiro and like all these other really base Jews being like, okay, this is why we need to cut the taxes, and the lefties are crazy and no more communism. They're like Jews. Right, so no matter what ideological side you're on now in the West, because like Jews are in the country, like you could find Jews anywhere, right? And you're like, Jews, like why are Jews like more doctors or CEOs have money? It's like, yeah, because Jews grow up.
He talks way too fast. Let's kill him.
But like I grew up.
I can't take this.
Answer this question. In the family you grew up in, did you get asked, are you going to university, or what university are you going to?
Oh, none of those.
Not even qualified.
I wasn't allowed to. I had to go if I could get in.
If you could get it, so like you were expected to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My parents didn't even know I was graduating high school.
There we go.
I mean, even if he was Jewish,
well, these are comics.
They wouldn't believe in him.
But it's like
my mom said, I'm proud of you for going to adult school at the mall.
Yeah,
but it's like
I didn't think I was graduating high school until like I don't know what the phone call was, but they're like, if you didn't get a phone call, then that means you're graduating. So I guess they were calling kids who weren't.
Yeah.
So I got rushed to where we were graduating high school, and I had to call my dad. I'm like, I'm actually graduating, and he was like on the couch watching TV. He called my mom. She rushed home from the grocery store, got ready, and they went to the hall that we had our thing.
Yeah.
All of that because nobody believed I would graduate high school.
That's so funny. You graduating high school was a curveball to the Fernandez family.
Yeah, we were like, really?
He did it.
It was so funny. Yeah.
Kid?
I found out last minute. Yeah.
No, but I know where you're leading to. I'll even say from my end, it was more because my dad's one of those immigrants who did really well for himself, and then was kind of like, "Don't fuck this up." I gave you, But like, in general, my family wouldn't have.
But there's a lot of cultures, like you look at Nigerians tend to have this, like Japanese, like Chinese. There's a lot of cultures that like stress.
Education.
Like education and like build a family and then go, and like that's the two most like the stabilizing factors.
Also,
is
the
like
cultures like help your own too, right?
Cultures
like, keeping the community.
Yeah, and no. It's not keep the community. There is a thing of like
the black community,
the persistence
not like that,
of the Jewish people, help them survive. Like if they need
Depends
it,
what kind.
like to help out
the dark skinned ones,
the continuance of the Jewish people, because they always try and kill us all the time. So it's like, but it's not like the money will save us. That's not the
brain
thing.
part.
It's like it's like the community at like times of crisis will come together and like support, like yes, financially people need it, like sending packages to Israel and like supporting the families that have
let's hear your defense of all the Palestinian babies that have been murdered in Israel bombing that hospital.
Okay, those aren't they didn't bomb the hospital.
Okay,
they did not bomb Al Shifa, and they didn't bomb the previous one. That was a PIJ rocket. 2, it's not murder. This is war. So these they're not committing murder.
Your defense is it wasn't a bomb, it was a rocket?
Hey,
no. I'm saying the Israelis didn't bomb Al-Shifa hospital. And the previous hospital they claimed 500 people died. That was actually a rocket fired by Palestinian Islamic Jihad that fell in the parking lot. They said it killed 500 people.
I thought I saw something about the Israeli government putting out that they took responsibility for bombing those hospitals and then deleted that tweet.
Like with war, there's always propaganda. So
what?
You can't
wait.
And also the rocket used those dirty Palestinians didn't know how to build that.
That was the Canadians, French, Americans.
That's what I read.
British, the AP. There was like No, they're not. None of these guys are pro-Israel. Like, because America is. But like, you could see the footage. I saw the footage, and you see rockets, because rockets always, like, the level of the low-grade rockets in fucking.
But what was
Palestine.
on the side of the rocket? I love Palestine. Like, how do you know it was?
Because you can see the angle in which they're launched, right? And they're launched. You could geolocate it. They're launched from Gaza into Israel. There's a bunch of rockets that go. One of them falls off and then goes and hits the parking lot. It also didn't even hit the hospital. It hit the parking lot. So the other thing here is, okay, in the Lebanon Beirut bombing, remember that explosion, that gigantic building that just massively exploded in Beirut?
Yeah.
218 people died in that. Horrible tragedy. They claimed that a rocket, which hit the parking lot of this hospital, killed 500 people right away. Okay, that was downtown Beirut, Lebanon, 218, and all of a sudden it's 500, right? So this is the type of lying that doesn't make sense.
That building was full of explosive. There was like fireworks, loads of fireworks in there. My friend was over there.
In Beirut, yeah. It was tons of massive explosion. It was Hezbollah munitions that were fucking in that building and went boom. Yeah, it was a horrible explosion. But I'm saying it was such a huge, horrible explosion. We all saw it, and it was really terrible. I'm not minimizing. I'm saying it's super terrible. But I'm saying the death toll on that is 218. So I'm just saying, use that as a baseline for something so horrific you saw that killed 218 people.
I want everybody to watch Bordman's hand movement. It's very satanic symbolism.
Yeah. I'm signaling to the Zionists
exactly
where he lives.
Spider-Man.
Just slinging hate. Yeah.
Weapon up Palestinians.
And I just want to correct Darren. The rocket would not say "I love Palestine" because they don't speak English. It would be that's very silly. You should have said that in.
It would say,
yeah, whatever.
That's what the rocket sounds
in Arabic.
like.
I'm just saying. Very silly of you, Darren.
Yeah, I apologize.
What I did learn from this is that we don't hate the Irish, but it's because you guys aren't successful and have done nothing.
But that's why God created whiskey, to stop the Irish taking over the world.
Oh, is that your own Irish conspiracy theory? That's why you guys haven't.
Well, I've seen it. You could do it with the Irish.
Well, we've done a lot of good shit.
Yeah, you can make a good Irish list.
Name one.
Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor.
Conor McGregor took over the world. Yeah. Took over the fighting world.
Yeah, got his ass kicked by an Islamic dude. Ha ha! Take that. Maybe he should have shot a rocket the wrong way.
But he was doing a lot of cocaine at the time. I'm not saying he would have beat Khabib if he was perfect. Khabib is almost a perfect fighter, but he would have.
He wasn't the same guy. I read that a lot when I read Tyson's book. It's like when you look back and everyone's like, "Oh, he wasn't." Some people will argue he wasn't as good as like we think he was because he ended up losing a bunch after. But if you read his book and if you believe his side of it, he's like, I was doing a bunch of coke and I didn't like Cus D'Amato died and I just didn't.
But how do you lose on cocaine? That's what I started doing.
You've been doing it for years.
Like, I could do anything. Right? When I get on it, that's when I became motivated.
You think you've been winning? You're a huge loser.
I don't want to sleep. I'm too busy winning.
John Jones does cocaine a week before his fights.
Yeah.
He used to do that all the time because to kind of have an excuse in his head that if I did lose, it was because of this, and he never lost. Right. He has one loss.
Cocaine really does have too much of a bad reputation. Like, it's unfair.
You just talked about before Bordman got here how you're happy that you haven't done it in a while. Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Because when I was doing it at one point, I wasn't thriving. You know, I wasn't going anywhere. Now I've stopped, and I feel like if I start back up again,
I can
take over the world.
Similar to, I'm going to ask two people who are on this podcast who are in a similar situation, and you can answer one after the other in whatever order. What is the end game for Ireland and Northern Ireland, and how do we get them together, or do they stay separate? And then same thing for Israel-Palestine. More peaceful answer wins.
Ooh.
Well, I think because of England, the UK have done Brexit, and the rest of Europe are fucking with them. So England has done horrifically since Brexit.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it's because Brexit was the wrong move. I think it's because the EU have put sanctions on them and have fucked them up because they wanted to leave. But Northern Ireland are caught in this bullshit because they have the fucking sanctions against them. It's not sanctions. It's like, just they don't have the backing of
We don't
Europe.
fuck with them anymore.
But there's no border in Ireland. Like there's no wall.
like you won't.
or
Oh,
anything.
you won't see it. Like if I go there, you just
drive over.
It's like walking from there to there. It's just
It's like country roads. You just happen to be in
What's
Northern
the problem
Ireland
with
now.
no
But
borders in
use
Ireland?
They use different currency up there. No, there's no problem with it. But they
No one's
use
trying to
different
get in.
currency up there, and it would be better for Northern Ireland to just technically to join back Europe. I don't really like Europe myself. I don't really like the EU because Ireland have to follow all these bullshit things about like climate change and fucking being green and all that shit.
Yeah.
And it fucks us.
I thought Irish love being green.
We are green. We're green. We were green on our own. Like we're a fucking island surrounded by water. We have all the natural resources, and we send all of our resources out to Europe.
So is your end game saying that it might happen?
It might happen
organically on its own.
Well, it might happen now because Northern Ireland might get sick of fucking being stuck in with England.
What he's saying is he doesn't like Europe.
Great.
Yeah,
because of all the homosexuals.
Belgium. All right. You might be able to beat that because I feel like he just kind of copped out on the answer and said it'll happen. I'm just kidding. It was a very good answer. It was a good answer. All right.
No, I'll just tell it straight. Like, listen, with the
He's lying
Palestinians
right now. What he wants to say is kill them all.
Yeah.
No. Come on.
It's you're gonna have to kill some of them.
Okay. Yes.
You
He wants to
can't
kill some of them,
give
like the women and
Gaza
children.
over. So Hamas is going to be destroyed. What, you're going to give it over to the Palestinian Authority, which wants to enter into a unity government with, Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad? Well, no, that's a crazy thing. They have like a pay for slave program. They literally pay people to kill Jews, so they can't run Gaza. The second largest group then would be, again, Palestinian Islamic Jihad. They're Palestinians interested in Islamic Jihad. And so Israel's going to have to take over and run it. And, like, what else? Just allow, like, this jihadist state to just be on your southern border to consistently be in war with in perpetuity? Because 3 out of 4 Palestinians, according to their own recent research they just did,
But come on,
support
man.
October 7th.
Hamas has feelings too.
I don't care.
But the innocent children and women have feelings too. Like
So they can move south. They can move south.
I think we could all agree. We all have feelings too.
That's what happened in
They were
1947. Can't they just move? Can't they just move? Let's just go to fucking Lebanon. Just go with the
go
other
somewhere.
Arabs.
Listen, here's my thing.
But like, why should
the Palestinians who want to stay and coexist should be able to stay. Those that want to leave should be allowed to leave. And those that want to die in jihad should die in jihad.
They need to stop being big bullies.
Like,
and they should let the Palestinian people just be where they've always been.
Okay, so
since the beginning of time.
I was born in Palestine.
Jesus was not born in Palestine. Jesus was born in Judea. It was called Judea. The name Palestine doesn't come till about 170 years after the Bar Kokhba revolts. So the Jews revolted against the Romans, and then as punishment for the revolt, they renamed Judea Syria Palestina. The reason they chose Palestina is after the, David and Goliath. Mm-hmm. David was king of Israel. Goliath was a Philistine. Those are the ancient enemies in Israel. So Plishut, Philistine. So the Palestina. That's what it's from. So here's the other thing with the Palestinians. They're Arabs. They speak Arabic. There is no p sound in Arabic. They cannot say Palestine. Listen to them. They say Palestine or Palestine because Palestine isn't an Arab word because it cannot be. It's named after Plishut, the Philistines. And the Plishut, it's so funny. In the Bible, it's not like Plishut is ancient Hebrew for invader. So that wasn't even their name. They just called them invaders. So this indigenous, because they're really the cool. Jesus was a Jew born in Judea. And then, Palestine was a name put on the Jews to humiliate them after they revolted against the Romans. This is...
So it's like the N-word.
We should start calling them Palestinians.
Well, it was,
it was
the Romans N-word for Jews.
Into it like rap.
Yeah, Palestinian was the Roman N-word for Jews after the Bar Kokhba revolts. That's the origin of that word.
But were they living in peace before Israel was formed?
Who living in peace before Israel?
The people of Palestine.
Do you know who was in charge of the area before Israel was formed?
Wasn't Jordan was partly in charge?
No, Jordan was part of Palestine originally. It was a British. Okay, so it was in the beginning of the
Jordan
20th
just
century was
sounds
the
like some
Ottoman
white kid.
Empire.
Ottoman Empire, and then the
Some
British.
So the Ottoman Empire.
charge
So
back
in the
then.
Ottoman Empire was
skateboard.
actually the province of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Right. That was like it wasn't even set up on those borders.
By the
It
way,
was-
Darren, thank you for taking this very serious. We needed you. I didn't
Yeah.
realize we did. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was sparsely populated. The Ottomans were in disarray because their empire was about to fall. Like, again, they're in Turkey, so it was pretty much roaming fucking Bedouin tribes in the desert. Then you had a few cities like Hebron, Jerusalem, like Jaffa, like those a few cities, but the rest of it is sparsely populated. Then, after the British and French win the war, there's Middle East is spread into British mandates and French mandates. One of the British mandates they have is for Palestine, the other is Iraq. In 1920, the San Marino Accords, they agreed that Palestine would be formed in a British mandate to be a state for the Jewish people, not at the exclusion of anyone else's rights. So it's always in there that, yes, it would be a state for the Jewish people to have self-determination with every other religion having equal rights, right? That was what was set out. Then the Arabs got mad because they wanted another state, so the Hashemites, which were like different, like a different kingdom, they got Iraq, but they wanted two countries, so they split Palestine in two. That's what Jordan was. Jordan used to be fucking Eastern Palestine, and then they didn't want to be called Palestine because they were Arabs and they couldn't say Palestine, so they then renamed it the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. And then you had the British mandate taking over the control of the area that was then British Mandatory Palestine. So 90% of the people who are now in the area, both Arab, Jew, and whatever, weren't there before the British took over. Because when the British took over and then the Zionist movement happened and the Jews started buying land and then building up the territory and immigrating and creating farms and jobs, then you saw mass migration from the other Arab countries around because then there was work there. So most Jews and Arabs come after the British take over. So yes, you can find people who have generations this and this and that. Like I went to my, family members, cousins, whatever, and my cousin, like Abraham, like like his wife Tova, she had come over, but like I saw the shack in Tel Aviv that he was like born in, and he was over 100, and this like 100, like, and his father, like there's people who can do this, but most 90% come in the last 100 years to the British controlled territory. So that's what we're talking about. Like there's never been a country called Palestine. This has never existed. Especially not an Arab one, because Arabs cannot say Palestine.
Wasn't it known as Canaan before?
In the Bible, yes. Before, at the times of Abraham, it was called Canaan. And the land of Canaan is a general term for that area, which was just a bunch of self-governing city-states at best. It was never Canaan was never a unified country. The land of Canaan was just a bunch of different city-states sparsely populated around.
And who is Cain again in the Bible?
Cain
The
and
coolest
Abel
motherfucker there is.
He's the
Cain-
son of Satan.
Cain, exactly,
Son of Adam.
which is like the son of
He's
the
a
Jews.
son of he's a son of Adam.
Cain
He
is the
killed-
original Jew.
No, Cain killed his brother Abel. Both of them were technically Jews. If you followed, they were all Jew. Everybody was Jews
I'm
In
trying
the
to say
Bible.
so.
in the Bible.
in the Bible.
Back
I'm just
in the
saying.
day, in the first half of the first book.
In the
everyone's-
first book,
In the first book,
the more
all
boring
Jews all the
chapter,
time.
Yeah.
the more boring chapter, they
discussed these Canaanites.
Episode Star Wars Episode 1, Jews.
Yeah.
Right.
Are evil.
Attack of the Clones, Christian. Revenge of the Sith.
I just like the idea that Jews
Muslim.
are evil. Like, is that bad that I like the idea that Jews are evil? Just like, oh, black people steal.
Yes.
Or like,
It is
like,
bad.
I just like.
It is bad.
I like that idea.
I like that you formulated
this
that
is what
question.
the conspiracies
Some
are
Jews
fun.
evil. Like
Yeah,
some
well.
Irish people are evil. So,
Yeah.
you know.
exactly.
Most.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Every
Irish
culture,
people.
every race has a version of their evil people, and so do Jews. But if Jews run most of the world and they're evil, then they're doing a lot of evil shit to the world, and they need to be stopped.
But that's to believe that they run most of the world. Because I watched that one. It was like a 5-part
Yeah,
documentary.
you see the world's like not happy with the Jews. Like, you think we are running this? You think
That's-
we're doing the BBC thing? Where the
That's
BBC
why we hate you.
Like, yeah,
And
the BBC
because,
fucking
like, you are running this.
The whole
You're
thing
our
with the
boss.
fucking Shifa Hospital. You think they're bombing it? They're specifically not dropping any bombs. They know it's the fucking headquarters of fucking Hamas. Like, they found hostages there. All the evidence has been out. They didn't even bomb the hospital. They went in purely with ground troops to minimize civilian casualties, and then they brought in their own medics, medical officers, and like translators and medical equipment. And the BBC said, "Oh, they are targeting Arab speakers and medical equipment, like when they're going to Shifa Hospital. No, they were bringing Arab speakers and whatever there. But like the BBC just
lies.
Yeah, the BBC lies.
So you're saying they're trying to take out Hamas members, doing their best.
Look what they said about Jimmy Savile.
They're doing
big black
they're
cocks
taking
are worth
measures,
it.
like they gave them a week to run away to the south.
Big black cocks don't lie.
There's a humanitarian corridor that they're fighting Hamas over. They're fighting Hamas to open up a legit humanitarian corridor where Palestinians can actually go through a bunch of streets that don't have Hamas fighters on them and then get out waving like flags. Like that's the fight. Like why do you think they couldn't run away before Israel did the ground invasion? Because Hamas was keeping them there. This is their open strategy. There's videos of them with guns to the people saying, stay in.
But why would a group like Hamas be created in the first place?
Because they're radical Islamists.
Yeah, no shit. Like, you got to be radical in order to, like, step over that line of, like, you know what? I'm going to make it my life to kill the enemy. But how do you get that enemy? It doesn't just get
like when Ireland
created out of nowhere. Some shit has to happen to people for them to go
no,
that
they
extreme.
Don't. Like
you can be an extremist, like sort of like religious, but in that murderous way.
No, like people.
That's
no. People are the heroes.
White pussy.
People are the heroes of their own story.
We live in the West. Like all Western thinking can't be
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It can't all be nonsense just because it's Western thinking. Like this is where we grew up, so this is how this is where we learn.
Fair enough. Listen, I'm a pro-Western. I think the West is the best. I just think we have these sort of naive moments on evil. We think like on evil, we don't understand that, one, these people probably think they're the heroes, and like people join ISIS or people like become Khalistani terrorists or they become like eco-terrorists for ideological reasons. It doesn't, like, someone can fucking blow up a fucking fishing boat with, like, because they're taking whales, but, like, not understand the implications, who grew up with, like, rich parents, and they were very nice, and, like, they weren't abusive, they just ideologically got to the point where they joined a group that is evil. Like, yeah, all the people who joined ISIS, like, they went to a different country. What did those Yazidi women ever do to any of the people from the UK who joined ISIS? Right? So, like, they were so, like, no, they just fell into like an evil ideology, and they exist, and they're.
You think they do these evil things too? Because like this is how we're going to be taken seriously. Like if we commit this type of horror, we're going to be taken like as a legit
like within
threat.
Your social, like that's what makes the ideas even more. Like when there's like a social community, when it's like when you could do the October 7th thing, and you're bringing dead bodies back, and you're met with a crowd of fucking cheering people. That incentivizes more people to do more shit because then, like, oh, look, I'm big dog. I did this.
Yeah, but shit like that doesn't happen overnight.
Right?
Shit like that, I think it takes.
Gangs do that. Every type of people have formed gangs when they come into. There's been Irish gangs. There's been Jewish gangs. There's been fucking the Italian mafias. Like every culture has experienced. Like yes, there's situations that create gangs, but like.
It's so weird how nobody support like openly at least. A lot of people don't support the idea of killing women and children and all this shit, but we do still support the idea of death in itself. Like when you think about, they killed this many Hamas members, they killed this many IDF soldiers. It's like we're like, yeah, like we all still root for death, but then when it comes to certain people dying, we're like, no. It's like, shouldn't all death across the board be kind of like, why do we want to kill each other in the first place? Like death is death, murder is murder, and you go, well, like, why is it still? My point is, like, this shit is only going to keep continuing to get worse and worse and worse because at no point anybody's going to snap out of it and go like, hey, by killing, the opposition, the Hamas or the Israeli soldier, whatever, women and children are they're going to get caught in the crossfires.
Yeah.
Regardless.
And the children
they're going to. So we're all crying about all these, like, innocent civilians. Meanwhile, in the first place, you're still fucking killing each other.
Yeah.
So
you're saying
just do it until you realize how fucked you are. To me, I'm just like, at this point, no ceasefire. You want to blow each other up? Fucking do it already. Just do it.
That's
sorry.
What they're trying. You're right. You're right.
Until you realize how sickening this is.
Israel doesn't want a ceasefire. Hamas doesn't want a ceasefire.
No,
it's only
so let them keep fucking murdering each other's
let them keep going.
families. Do it.
It's not them that are dying. Like it's the innocent people that are dying.
Well,
that's my point.
So all the casualties that have been reported, it's like 14,000. How many of those casualties? Because it's Hamas reporting. The Gaza Ministry of Health. That's fucking Hamas.
How many of them?
How many of them are combatants?
All of them.
But like, no. How many of them? How many combatants have been reported killed? You haven't even heard of shouldn't. Like we're all pretending like 14,000 civilians killed, no combatants. Okay, sure. If you believe that, I can't help you.
But
right?
it's like if there's an active shooter in a shopping centre, you're like, all right, we dropped a bomb on it, we got him, and kill everyone else that's fucking.
There's one
innocent.
shooter,
It's
and
like
then you
that-
drop
that's
a
the way to
fucking
do it.
missile
It's
in
like
just to get that
there's
one fucker.
There's one rat, so let's just blow the whole fucking building up and kill anything that's there just to get rid of that fucking rat. It's like that's not the way to do it. Like that could happen. It just because it's
So that's not
happening
against.
here,
So it's
doesn't
different.
mean it can't happen.
So there's
here.
a difference between an active shooter in Canada and like a legally declared war, right? So when you declare war in a country, so again, Hamas is the government of Gaza. They launched a full-scale invasion of Israel. They filmed it and massacred civilians in the most brutal way possible and took hostages and have still 200 plus hostages Israelis there. Israel then declared war on Gaza. And when Israel's involved, we all pretend that like all war is illegal. Like this is a war crime. It's like, no, that's not. That's right. So in war, even the Geneva Convention, so we talk about human shields. You can strike at people with human shields. If there are active military, any building where you declare in a country that you've actively declared war on each other with military personnel, so people shooting with guns or anything military installments, if you take measures to avoid civilian casualties, then it's not an act of war
That's a
if
way out.
civilians
That's a
die.
Well, war is war.
Well, I'm sorry,
to kill people.
but like that's the law of war. Like again, and people only have this with Israel. When look at Saudi Arabia, that's been fighting a war with the Houthis for years, and the reason the Arabs can't beat the fucking Houthi rebels is because they just use fucking airspace. The Saudis don't have fucking infantry. No one in Saudi Arabia wants to be in the fucking infantry or is even capable of fucking fighting anyone. So they're just dropping bombs all over fucking Yemen from the sky, and no one gives a shit about that. No one's on the street. The death toll is way higher. They're not telling them to run away beforehand. They're bombing weddings, hospitals, schools, everything. School, but like it doesn't fucking matter because they don't give a shit. And you're right. Like, why don't they just send in soldiers to get the actual Houthi terrorists who are firing missiles into Saudi Arabia? Because they don't have a fucking infantry that works shit, so they just keep bombing it. But no one gives a shit because they're Saudi Arabia and it's fucking Yemen.
It's not
But that's like- but that's when it goes into war crime territory.
The algorithm and they put it onto Twitter and put it onto social media. Then
But there's no social movement for this. There's a whole system of fucking Israel fucking Israel
Like
bullshit.
in
It's built
in
into
Russia, Ukraine, everyone's on Ukraine's side, and it's the bigger country. Russia is invading Ukraine, but everyone's on Ukraine's side. And why is that? Why is that?
Speak for yourself.
Okay, because I think Russia got caught up in the Trumpism, which was the big thing.
But also Hamas's tactics are they're more
Heinous.
severe. They're more severe and disgusting than other countries.
If Israel came into Ireland,
it's like a next level.
But don't you think it's because like they almost kind of have
for
to?
generations, I would.
They have
turn into
no
a terrorist.
other-
I would be a
Right.
fucking terrorist.
You know?
Yeah.
They killed all my family, and I was.
If you're Hamas,
I'm dedicating my life.
if you're
to fucking
Hamas and you're
kill them.
fighting Israel's
Yeah,
army,
but you're-
like
but
a
you're
high-tech
halfway
army that
across
has
the world,
like
and
advanced
Israel hasn't
weaponry,
done that.
you
Israel
have to
hasn't
be
invaded
brutal in your
Ireland.
methods.
In 1947, they came in. I know you have all
In-
the
to
argument and all
Ireland?
the reasons. No, into Palestine.
No. The Arabs declared war on Israel.
Now,
No. In 1947, after the partition, so there was a 47 partition plan, and then in 48, the partition plan went to the United Nations, and they voted to ratify it. The Jews declared independence. The next day, 5 Arab armies declared war on them.
Well, shouldn't
and
they?
the Palestinians already. Why? Why does
Because
Iraq
of the stupid ass
not? Why
declaration
would they not?
that could mean something.
Iraq-
why
a new
wouldn't they?
country has been formed, and no one was
And
asked
nobody
about it.
fucking
And
said
Everyone
okay.
was asked about it. Their
They have to move,
signatures
but
they
are
clearly-
on the San
but they
Remo
clearly didn't
report.
agree
Not
with it.
everybody. They didn't agree.
Yeah,
with it.
these 5 assholes
Okay,
said
so
okay.
so if anyone disagrees with anything, that's a thing for war.
No,
right?
if you
If somebody
disagree, then there has to be
tries to
more
take
measures
my
taken to
land,
maybe.
then-
Iraq.
It's been my family.
Iraq declared war on Israel. Iraq is not touching Israel. It's not touching Palestine. It's not border to anything. Why did the country of Iraq declare war on
Because
Israel
they
in
didn't want
1940?
American interference in the Middle East.
America wasn't there in
America
1947.
is Israel.
And they probably thought Israel was an
is
illegitimate
basically
country
America.
in the
There's,
first
like,
place.
The people in the there's 20
So,
people in the
okay,
Senate
okay,
of America
yeah.
that are dual citizens. They're the people that run the country. They're the people
No,
that
they're
run
not.
America.
You
And
you think the Jews run America? That's why they're giving billions of dollars to Iran right now? You think the Jewish plan is to give $6 billion to Iran and then give another $10 billion to Iran and then force Israel to give up the oil field that it rightfully owns to Hezbollah? Yes, this is the Jews who are running America, making all the decisions, who are just giving fucking billions of dollars to terrorists who want to kill Jews.
I know
Like,
for
this
sure,
is-
though, honestly,
like,
after all
this is the insanity
dude, after
of
all this episode, after all this shit, Matt Baxter's baptism is going to piss off both Palestinians and Jews.
Why?
You're getting baptized?
Because
Baptized.
you're
I think
either
it's
neither
gonna
one of them.
I think it's going to piss off the Christians the most.
Who's this fag trying to be a Christian?
Look,
Hellfire to Matt Baxter. Wait, why would it piss them off?
Because they're not Christians and they hate Christians.
The Jews do?
Jews don't like us. Yeah.
No, we like you.
no,
you
Jews,
don't.
Jews like you. No, Jews
then
like
just
Christians.
admit that
I
Jesus
disagree with that.
Christ is
No, Jews.
like,
Jews.
No,
don't
Jews
like.
like
that's,
Jews like Christians.
That's a false belief. Jews don't have that big of a problem with Christians.
okay, so
It's a Jewish Muslim thing. Good points there. Good points there. My real question is Anna Kasparian hot?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And she's kind of changing, right?
She's still left it. Like she's changing on some things. And
Yeah,
people
yeah.
go, like I don't.
But you can
know,
respect
I can
that.
respect that.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
you can't hate everyone who has a different opinion than you. Like, that's a
That's a
boring
good-
life.
What
And then
are we,
you
what
go
are we,
crazy.
Hamas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to hate, just don't kill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I know Lee's always the funny one or whatever. Well, not always. Not when he's on stage. But I do. I think that is a good point. I get the feeling, just like what you said about like, hey, to some of those people, you know, their people were killed, so they hate them. And then it's the same thing especially after October 7th. When I did hear about that, I'm like, I would love for Israel not to kill a bunch of Palestinians right now, but it's like I watch a lot of revenge movies, you know, like Man on Fire or whatever. Once you killed my Dakota Fanning, I just need to.
I get it, but does it like
So now
all,
it's
all
just
I ask if that's going to be the standard? It should be applied both ways.
No, that's what I'm
right?
saying.
So
It
like,
is.
it's not even just October 7th. Like, if you look at the 1920s, 1929, the Hebron, a historically Jewish city. That's where Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Leah, like the mothers and fathers of it are buried there, right in Hebron. 1929, 69 whatever Jews were killed and hundreds were thrown out as all the Jews were taken in a mob. The same year, Gaza was completely ethnically cleansed of Jews at the time, and Gaza had, like, Maccabees had fought fucking Greeks in Gaza, right? So they were then kicked out there. So all the violence that was perpetrated on, and like the Jews that were killed in terrorist attacks, like, if you're gonna say, well, you killed me, like, would you give that same humanity to, like, oh, you gotta understand Israel, because, like, everyone's lost someone in a war or a terrorist attack. Like, I remember growing up when I was a kid, like, I was kicked out of class one day, and then, like, the other teacher, I was at a Hebrew day school, like, she ran out of the classroom crying, and it was at the second Intifada. Her nephew had just been blown up on a school bus. So, like, does she get the same humanity of, like, fucking them, she could do whatever the fuck she wants? Or does she have to play by some restraint? And if she has to play by some restraint rules, do the Palestinians not have to play by the same restraint?
No, I
With so as long as if your standard applies
some people that'll,
equally
like,
to both sides, I'm happy with it.
That is
But
what
it's
I'm saying.
when it's this is the standard for the Palestinians, this is the standard for the Israelis, then, like,
But when
that's
this shit
fair.
keeps going back and forth, both sides inevitably lose reason to live. Like, I know if I lost, like, my fucking family, my kids are blown up in front of me, my wife is raped in front of me, and I have no reason to fucking live anymore, my whole purpose in life is now to die honorably. So if I join Hamas, if I join the IDF, whatever it is, I go like, dude, you guys have taken everything from me. I have nothing left of me but to try to kill everyone that I think killed my family.
And I think that's where
that's where all these psychos come from.
And they're going to keep going.
They're gonna keep going. It's never gonna end.
So,
until
okay,
you
so they
both
keep going.
mutually
Okay,
destroy
so-
each other.
the Nazis are evil and killed and killed and killed. But if we keep killing Nazis, we're just going to make more Nazis. So we have to do something. Yes, they're rampaging through Europe, and yes, they're doing bad things. But you have to understand, once you kill a German life, you make a German a Nazi forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
But is that the same-
dude, it's fucking
is that not the
retarded.
same
no, you
with-
have to
with
win the war.
Palestine?
Like, this is the thing. This is where it's like, no, you have to beat them in a fucking war, and then get them in a position where either they surrender or die, and hopefully they surrender and choose peace.
You can't
But
win
we've
this
been
war,
trying
dude.
over and over.
You can't win this war unless you annihilate the entirety of that civilization.
Kids won't surrender.
Dude, they're
Then
not going to. You have to
then
basically
they'll be
annihilate
die
all
or
of
kicked
them.
out. Like, then they die or leave. Then it's like die or
it's a
leave.
genocide. Like, it's like
That's
a
it. That's
raising
what's
a-
happening. Is
It's
'cause
almost
a whole race
racist in a
of
way, because we're
people.
like, Palestine.
No,
is so
they're declaring war. If you declare war
we
and
can't
go and
allow
fight,
that
if you want to fight a
The
war,
people didn't declare war. We don't get
People did it. It's these fucking rich assholes that did.
It's
the
just
the people that
government-
own the
no,
tanks
It's just the
that
government they
fucking
voted
did.
for. It's just the government they voted for that they support did it.
And none of them are dead.
They didn't vote
Yes,
for
they
anything
did.
that
They voted for Hamas. They voted for Hamas in 2005. In 2005, Israel left the Gaza Strip. They took out every what you would call a settler. Every Jew was removed from the Gaza Strip. Even the graves. They took dead Jews out of the graves in the Gaza Strip. It was made completely Jew-free. Given in full autonomy as the pilot project for a Palestinian state. If we just don't even negotiate this time because they say no to negotiations, if we just give them everything they want. We gave them all the greenhouses, the infrastructure. They immediately burned down everything that was Jewish, elected Hamas on a platform of global jihad. In Hamas's founding charter, it says their goal is to kill every single Jew in the world. It's an apocalyptic Islamo-fascist, terrorist organization, and they voted for that. And still, the current data shows 75% of Palestinians support what happened on October 7th. 11% don't know how to feel about it.
Because it's horrible. But I can see that other percentage
75%
why they supported
looked at it.
Because they probably looked at it
and saw the live streams and said, fuck yeah, let's do that. So, yes.
But do you think October 7th is worse than what Israel are doing to
Yes.
Palestine?
It's not worse than January
You think it's
6th.
worse? How is it worse?
Because it involved whites.
Because it was willful murder of innocents,
always
rape
defend
of
whites.
So you're saying
mass rape.
just because it's war, it's not murder? That's just because
Nah, that's
someone
bullshit. That's
someone
bullshit.
wrote it down, the war rules, and you're saying it's not murder. Like,
But
that's
I'm
crazy.
saying, okay, do you apply this to anyone? Do you apply this to the Russians or the Ukrainians? Are Russia and Ukraine...
I don't want any war. Like, I don't support
Yeah, I don't want any war too. I don't want any war. But when people come in, invade your country, murder your citizens, take hostages. There's 200 Israelis
but that's what happened.
and living under the dark, being tortured every day by fucking horrible demonic terrorists. Under the dark. They can't see the sun. They're being tortured, and you just want to say, Jews, Israel, just let it be. Kumbaya, why are you fighting back? Why are you going to war? You're pro-war. Listen to fucking Hamas. They love the war. They say they're going to do it again and again and again. And they're still firing rockets. Rockets are still being fired into Israel.
So you're going to kill every man, woman, and child in
No, we're going
Palestine
to try and let them
stop?
away. Israel's trying to get the Palestinian civilians out of there. And Hamas is trying to kill them. And if they die in the process of trying to kill Hamas, that's tragic. And I don't want that to happen. But it is different than October 7th. And if you make the precedent that you get immunity by running into or nearing a woman and child, then every fucking terrorist and every militant across the world will start to do that. Because if you run into this house right now and you just get immunity, right, then it incentivizes doing this more.
Are you saying that Hamas is playing Ollie oxen free? Do you know that reference?
I feel like
When Irish people
it's a dirty
use
tag.
guerrilla warfare to get English people out who were taking over us for 800 years, they would, if we spoke our own language, they would rip people's fingernails out. They raped and they killed women and children for 800 years. And Irish people got together and they started using guerrilla warfare, killing British soldiers and getting them out. And some innocent people died. And they called the IRA terrorists. They still do.
Is Israel doing
But
shit like that
they-
to Palestinians, though?
No, the IRA is close. Like the IRA did kill civilians, and there were car bombs, and yeah, at times they targeted soldiers. And listen, I'm fine if you're an IRA person, independents targeting soldiers. Like, yeah, the fucking Israel fought off the British too. Like that was to get the British out to because they kept getting fucked over by the British. Like they blew up the fucking King David Hotel, which was the British headquarters in fucking Jerusalem. So. Listen, I get it, and people have the right to fight for independence. I don't deny anyone that right. But what I'm saying is the Palestinians are not fighting for independence. They're fighting to destroy Israel. They were given independence.
Because they don't want Israel to be a thing.
Israel
Israel doesn't want Palestine to be a thing.
You did it. Israel, then it's war.
Yeah, and they're
but
smaller,
Israel's tried
so the
to
world is
create a
going to get
Palestinian
behind
state.
them.
Israel's offered them 97% of the land before negotiating then for land swaps. If you're saying, why not that extra 3%?
97% of the land.
97% of the current West Bank.
The current West Bank, that's already been driven down. It's already only about 5% of what it was before.
What are you talking about? What it was before? The Palestine, majority of Palestine is Arab. 78% of the original Palestine is now Jordan, which is Judenrein. When Jordan took over, they moved every single Jew out instantly. It is illegal to sell land to a Jew in Jordan, a place that Jews have lived for thousands of years. If someone in Jordan gets caught selling their house to me, they can be put to death. No one gives a shit about this, and we just pretend Israel's existence makes the Muslims so angry that they must have some point. I say fuck them. That's not a point. You don't get to make a caliphate. I'm not paying the jizya. There's going to be an Israel. You can deal with that or you can't. You want to live in peace? You can live in peace. You want to war and rage on just because they want to destroy Israel? Fine. They want to destroy Israel. They can be destroyed too. Both sides get to fight a war.
My fear out of this is that there's actually going to be a want for another Holocaust after this, because
there's going to be a World War III.
So listen. Then when people start marching against the Jews on the streets of Canada or Ireland, come out and defend us. But I'm not just going to just say, oh, Jews should let themselves be slaughtered, because if they don't, more people are going to get angry at the Jews and then kill the Jews. Like, I'm not saying that's. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just
my
understand
best
what
friend
we're
in
saying.
comedy, Matt Render, is Jewish. Like,
Yeah.
I hear that side of the story,
Yeah.
and he tells me everything. He tells me everything that you say. He's a lot smarter than me, but it goes in the more he tells me, and I sympathize. I completely sympathize, but I sympathize for both sides, like. And
So do I. But
listen, it doesn't sound like
no. But I just say Hamas is keeping him there,
because he's
and
a
their
fucking
own
Jew.
activists are
and
keeping them
he has
aside.
to stick up for his side.
It's like
but
he
that's
has
it,
to.
But I'm as a neutral person.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm constantly being told I'm wrong. I'm constantly being told I'm wrong by feeling.
that's
the way
fair.
I
Yeah,
do.
that's fair. That's fair.
By
The
having
people trying to,
empathy for both
I think
sides.
you're right. People trying to walk the line here get a bad rap, and
And Jews are really good at guilt tripping you. You're right, Darren.
Their mothers, especially.
Yeah, you're right.
that.
Well, I think that was.
No, I appreciate, a lot about this.
This is my.
I appreciate it.
Listen, I'm a geopolitical analyst for a living. This is how I got in Indian TV, yelling about Palestinians and terrorism. And in my spare time, I look up history videos of shit, and then I do this.
You want to plug
for a
anything,
living.
Boardman?
Sorry.
You want to plug anything, like your website?
Yeah, Daniel Bordman. I run the National Telegraph too, so you can follow. That's where we write articles. When the government allows us to write articles, so they're on Twitter now because they can't be on Facebook or Instagram or
X.
Google or X. Yeah, what the fuck? You could follow me on fucking Twitter and it's all the stuff. But it's National Telegraph, write that in, or Indian TV. Just buy a satellite, and I'm all of them. India Today, Republic TV, NDTV.
So if there's any single
TV
Indian
9.
bitches out there,
Indian bitches out there.
Hit up our man Daniel Bordman.
Yeah, you can reach me at 647.
Making a strong case for murdering Palestinian babies.
Yeah.
You know what?
Thanks so much. Your mom can call his mom, and you can set it up.
Indian ladies, if you like this rant, you want a good Kalistani rant.
That's right.
Yeah, I got one for you.
I'm also fond of Indian women.
So yeah,
Darren Burke as well, y'all.
yeah. And check out. How do we promote the dungeon?
Yeah, come to the dungeon. Follow me on Instagram. I guess even though I'm shadow banned, so you don't even when Matt, when other people share my shit, they don't even. It doesn't get they don't. It doesn't get through. I'm gonna start a new Instagram account, but I just made 500 business cards with a thing on the back of it,
with
a QR code
original?
with this Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm fucked, but I'm gonna keep it anyway because people do follow it and people do watch the videos. Some videos get through the algorithm and I get a few thousand or whatever, but most of them stop at 223 for some reason. That's the number. But whatever. But do come to the dungeon. I'm putting on really good shows. Like Dan Guyry's coming next week. Brovo and Baxter are going to open for him. So come. I'm going to start putting on other shows. The lads are going to do shows here as well.
Yeah.
We have a good space here, and it's always good shows. I'm all for free speech. I'm free speech absolutionist. I will fight for anyone to say anything that I disagree with. But I will talk myself, and I'll always tell my truth as well. But that's what I'm trying to do in the dungeon.
All right,
So
fucking
come
Darren
and watch
Burke,
that.
Shadow Band, and Daniel Boardman, Shadow Mayor. Could have been Shadow Mayor.
Could have been Shadow Mayor.
I wish we would have talked about that more, though. Had Ben Bankus won the mayoral card or whatever,
Yeah.
he the real fucking
behind the
power
scenes.
would have been Daniel
The
Boardman.
Dick Cheney.
Oh my God, you guys are paying so much less taxes.
We fucked up.
Lee doesn't pay.
There'd be no diversity commission.
Lee doesn't pay his
You could just
You're
do
right.
a fucking show in a park and you could do whatever you want as long as you're not killing people. If you want to be look at this, no one's gonna come and bylaw you can't have fun over there.
When I perform, I always kill.
There you go.
Unfortunately, not yourself. All right, thank you so much for being on.